The following podcast is a Dear Media production.
Welcome back to Probably Podcast. Guys, if you would have told me, one day you're gonna get married and on your honeymoon, you're gonna rewatch the episode that you hate the most of a TV show you were on 5 years ago, and then on your honeymoon, you're gonna recap it. I'd be like, no, I'm fucking not. No, I'm not gonna do that. Anyways, we have to get what the people want, and I should have done this before I left, and that's all right because I have the time. I have the time on my honeymoon. It's about 10 a.m. here. We are in Ischia, I think it's how you say it, Ischia. It's gorgeous. I'll do a full recap of the wedding and the honeymoon, but for now, before the season break, I will leave you with the final recap of Very Cavallari. This is combining the last episode of season 1 and the first episode of season 2. And that was my final departure. I was no longer seen again. The woman was never seen from or heard from again. So, yeah. Anyways, I just got back from the gym with James, and yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. We go to the gym at our honeymoon. We actually haven't gone one time. It really is crazy what they say about, like, you can just eat and eat and eat. But when you're in Italy and you're in Europe in general, like, one, the food is just, like, so much better for you the way it's made and all the ingredients, etc. And then two, you're just walking so much. But today we put some muscle work to it. And yeah, we are coming live. By we, I mean me, to you on this webcam. Here we go. Okay, so let's start. If you are rewatching this with me, we are in season 1, episode 8. All right. And that is the store opening. The store opening went great. I remember at the time UJ kind of just had jewelry. They didn't have home goods, they didn't have anything like that yet. So when I look back, I'm like, wow, the store looks really bare. But I think since then, because I still went to the gym at TrueMath for a while after I was off the show and didn't work for Uncommon James anymore. So I would always like peek in there, and the store ended up looking like a lot more full. So anyways, I think catering mishap happened with the grand opening, but all in all, the grand opening was pretty, good. It just went well. And Kristen gives a speech. There was a lot of airtime talking about how she was nervous for her speech, nervous to talk. She crushed it. And I remember I was genuinely so excited. My parents were in this episode. They came in for the show. They met Worth's parents this day. My parents and Worth's parents are really good friends. So that was the start of something beautiful. Both Worth's dad and my dad, they're both named Vic. So we love that. Oh, also, if you guys are watching this, look at my nail. I was walking down to our room, and the concierge was showing us. He was so nice. He was so lovely. He's like, welcome to this beautiful honeymoon suite. And I went and fell down the stairs, and I caught myself with my nails, and literally it broke down to the center of the bed. And the guy was like, oh, are you okay? And I was like, oh yeah, I'm fine. She was not fine, in fact, spoiler alert. And yeah, so my nail I can feel my heartbeat in my nail. If you're watching this, I'm holding this little baby mic, and yeah, it's not cute. So anyways, this was really funny to me when I was watching this. Reagan saying that she was throwing a party. If she was throwing her own party, she would invite Ellen DeGeneres, James Franco, and her mom. I'm crying. So underrated how many fucking hilarious antidotes Reagan had. Reagan really was. I used to be like, I'm the funny one. No, I think if you watch back this season, it's a clear, Reagan is the funny one. Reagan said the most out-of-pocket hilarious shit. She's really good. And that just cracked me up, because when Reagan says these things, she just means it. Also, shouts out Reagan. She just announced she's having a baby. So happy for her. Okay, Kristen, very nervous to give a speech. Home goods launch today. You can't click the photo. So this is the build up. This episode is the build up to me getting fired in the next season. So basically, this is what happens. The newsletter goes out. Well, first of all, there was a much bigger issue, I would say. I know I'm a bit biased, but I think there was a much bigger issue with shipping. Kristen was really losing money because the shipping was messed up in the sense that something happened where the home goods, which are obviously really heavy items, were shipping for the same as this very thin, light jewelry was shipping, $5.95, and it was a big deal, and it was a problem, and they had to cut the home goods. Well, the big issue was the newsletter. So the newsletter went out launching and announcing the home goods, and it said click the photo above to shop. And I remember this happening it was yesterday. I didn't have, so the home goods link was private. It was a private link that you couldn't shop and see, obviously, until the home goods went live. I had made that newsletter so far in advance, which I never did because I was really bad. My demise was the newsletters and stuff. And I will fully wear that. I was just bad at it and lazy with it. And so anyways, I thought to myself, go ask someone for that correct link so you can add the correct link into the newsletter. And then I never did. And then when it went launched, because it was scheduled, when it launched, it was bad news bears because you couldn't click the link. And yeah, that was a problem. So, anyways, I will say MailChimp was very like hard for me. I should have done that. That was on me. But I will say there was this part that Kristen says on the phone with Jay in the car. She's talking about Brittany messing up the weight and how the weight was wrong for the home goods, whatever. And Jay says like, start taking stuff out of their paychecks. And she was like, rolled her eyes like, obviously I'm not going to do that. I'll just figure it out. I just have to like say this really quick. And this is going to be, I told you with this rewatch episodes, all this stuff, I'm not shitting on Kristen. Kristen and I are like friends. We're very cordial. Like by friends, like I don't have her phone number or anything, but like like if we see each other, which we do every once in a while, like I saw her in the grocery store one time, I'm like, hey, saw her kids, like, hey, how are you guys? Like we're very, very friendly. We have a lot of mutual friends. We are A-okay, Kristen and I. And this whole rewatch episode series, I told you I did not want to shit on Kristen. I really see a lot of like this show and my wrongdoings through a different lens now that I'm older, that I employ people, that I have things like going on in business related adventures. And I'm like, whoa, like get a fucking grip, Shannon. And also I am me. I went through these experiences and I know I was lazy. I know I wasn't a good employee. So like, I really do wear that. So, all that to be said, this episode, I definitely have a lot more angst towards Kristen, but I just want to reiterate that, we are fine now, but this is just me reliving it. And yeah, it's definitely my least favorite episode to rewatch. And the next episode is my second least favorite episode to rewatch. And it's just like, it's brutal, and here I am, like I said, watching it on my honeymoon. What a treat. What a fucking treat. Okay, so anyways, I will say this. She says, like, Jay says something like, we should start taking it out of their paychecks, whatever. She rolls her eyes like, I'm obviously not going to do that. She did take money out of my paycheck one time, like, maybe like half a year prior. I had done some giveaway, or I had done something with social media related stuff. Oh, it was a flash sale. We did a flash sale for free shipping. And she was like, make a flash sale of today only free shipping. I'm like, on it, because I was in charge of so much more than just social media. So I would go into Shopify, I would make the code for the sale, and then I would post the flash sale online, free shipping. Well, she didn't think of this, and I've never run a company before. I didn't know this. She didn't say like, also, by the way, no free international shipping, because obviously that was a lot more expensive. So she calls me, and I remember she was like, what the fuck? Like, the international shipping is free. Like we're hemorrhaging money to Canada, to wherever. And I was like, oh shit, I'll go in. And I was like, oh, there's a setting that you can say no international shipping. I'm clicking it right now. And she was like, okay, well, we just lost $150 shipping shit for free to other countries. And I was like, I'm so sorry. I didn't know that we were supposed to not do free international shipping, because you didn't tell me. She's like, well, that's coming out of your paycheck. And I remember, you guys, at the time, like Kristen always paid me well. She did. But like, I was a 24-year-old girl. Like, this money was everything to me. Like, this money, just like, I'm not trying to be dramatic right now, but like, it was everything to me. I needed every cent I made, because at the end of the day, I was just still working, like an entry-level social media job. Like she paid me well for my job, my position, but I'm here to tell you it wasn't a lot of money. It was the correct amount of money you should pay someone. I don't ever want to get that twisted, but like, it was not a lot of money. Of course, who is making a ton of money at 24? And I remember being like, you're taking, like, calling my mom being like, she's taking the $150, $190 out of my paycheck. And my mom's like, did she tell you to do the international shipping? I was like, no. She said I should have known. And my mom was just like, I don't think you can do that. And I was just like, I remember like being in a good place with Kristen at the time, so not wanting to like, make it bad again. But I remember at the time, maybe even asking a couple other people, and people telling me like, you can't do that. And maybe there's some gray area here. Maybe if you're listening to this, you'll be like, you absolutely can do that. But like, I'm pretty sure that's like not legal to just like take. And at the time, I just thought it wasn't nice to do to a 24-year-old girl to like teach her a lesson. Like, I'm taking the 190. This wasn't like a mom and pop shop. Like, she was a business owner. I was her employee. She was my boss. Like, could she take $190 away from me because I like didn't click the international shipping for the flash sale? I don't know. I just remember being like, I don't think you can do that. Anyways, she did, and that was not fun for me at the time. Very important to me, very, very deeply important to me is good breath. Okay, like I'm just always anxious about having bad breath. I don't want it. I honestly take my hygiene very seriously because I have veneers. So like I have to brush different, I have to floss different. I have to do all these different things to make sure that my hygiene for these fake
freaking chompers just stay good and clean. And so fresh breath is very important to me. And I love Smart Mouth. Smart Mouth is the only mouthwash scientifically proven to eliminate and prevent bad breath for 24 hours with just 2 rinses a day. All right. And Smart Mouth is amazing because it prevents bad breath 12 times longer than the leading brand. Like, they really are just the only one out there doing it because they use smart zinc technology. So this zinc ion activation is the key to eliminating and preventing sulfur gas, which is AKA bad breath. Next time someone has bad breath, just be like, oof, your sulfur gas is kicking. But really, it's the secret to all day fresh breath. Okay. Now, Smart Mouth was developed by a dentist. So obviously, they know what they're doing. And it really is just genuinely amazing. Like I said, I think that they keep the dual chamber bottle, which is really great. So it's got this like unique dual chamber bottle that keeps the 2 powerful solutions separate until you're ready to rinse. That's probably the kicker. That's the sciencey stuff that's way over my pay grade, but just, what makes it work. So when you pour the 2 solutions into the cup, you are then activating that smart zinc technology. All right. And that is, like I said, key. But you're going to have this long lasting freshness and scientifically backed formula all up in your mouth so that your fresh breath is just good. You don't have to worry about if you're going to a meeting. Honestly, I feel like something that people never talk about, when you're at an appointment, like getting your hair done or getting your lashes tinted or like getting your makeup done or something, like any beauty, like self-care related thing where girls are like doing all the time. Aren't you always looking at the person and being like, sorry for breath smells? And they're like, you're good. But really, I'm like, am I good? But you will be good if you use Smart Mouth. Okay, so don't miss out on 24-hour fresh breath. Find Smart Mouth at CVS, Walgreens, or Walmart and visit www.smartmouth.com/probably to snag a special discount on your next Smart Mouth purchase. That's www.smartmouth.com/probably. Your mouth will thank you.
Okay, now let's circle back to me doing the wrong thing. I say to her when she's like, you can't click the fucking link. I say, I don't have the link if I don't know the link. Like, I'm sorry, what, Shannon? Like, that's such a stupid excuse. Like, and to be fair, the website, like I tried to explain, like, this is one of those moments where I just wanted to flick myself in the head. Like, you need to just say, like, I'm sorry, I fucked up. Like, I fucked up. Like, it's on me. Instead, I was like, who am I supposed to get the link from? Like, who am I supposed to ask? And Kristen, rightfully so, was like, anyone. Literally anyone. Ask anyone. What the fuck are you talking about? So yeah, like that was a moment where I just looked back like, why did you have to always be so combative? Why did you have to always be so defensive? Like, I really would have fired me so much sooner. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Like, I deserved to be fired, and it was all just like inappropriate the way that I spoke to her as my boss. Like, in the same breath, I think sometimes the way she spoke to me as an employee was inappropriate, but like, to be fair, the website was private, but I had to go in and ask for the link when it would be live and add it. And I forgot to go back. I remember that. I forgot to go back whenever she was like, you can't click it. It immediately in my head, I was like, shit, I meant to go back and add the fucking link. But like, it was such a dumb excuse. Who do I ask? Like, literally ask anyone, Shannon. Then I also hated whenever she was like, this was the moment. It was fucked this morning. And I was like, really? The newsletter ruined the whole moment? Like, Shannon, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, Shannon. Like, genuinely, just prime example of me being like, who the fuck do you think you're talking to? This is your boss. This is a huge launch. Like, and I'm like, really? The newsletter was what messed it all up? Like, it's just so inappropriate. Okay. Now, I will also say this is where people were kind of giving some flack towards Kristen, because in this scene, she's literally like basically screaming and cussing me out. Like, what the fuck, Shannon? Like, what did she say? I think I wrote it down. And listen, these are the days before HR. And I'm personally like, it didn't bother me that much at the time. Like, the way she spoke to me, I never left being like, I can't believe she speaks to me like that. I left upset because me and my boss were fighting, or me and who I thought was like a friend were fighting. So I would always be upset in those moments, but I'm like, low-key team, let's keep cussing people out in the workplace. Like, we should bring it back, you know what I mean? Like, we should bring back being able to cuss each other out in the workplace. But this was a time before HR. We did not have HR, which is so funny because in the next episode, she like brings HR in to tell her that I was fired. And I was like, who is this woman? I've never met this woman. Like, we did not have HR at the time, but I think because she got so much flack from that episode, like, I remember the internet was literally really, I wouldn't even go as far to say roasting Kristen, but the internet was very up in arms about the way she spoke to me. Like, it was pretty divided. There were 50% of people being like, fucking fire Shannon, she's the worst employee ever. And then 50% of people were like, this is so crazy that she's talking to her employee like this in the workplace. Like, really crazy. And so I remember when I would read that, I'd be like, yeah, it's crazy. But like, honestly, it did not bother me when she yelled at me. It just upset me because I was being yelled at. But I was never like, this is so inappropriate. Like, never really bothered me. But she did get a lot of flack for that. Okay, now the iconic scene. Don't roll your eyes at me, Shannon. Yeah, that was a line that I never knew would pick up as much steam as it did. Like, I would have people, and I don't remember rolling my eyes at the time. At the time, I was like, I didn't even roll my eyes. Like, by the way, fucking classic Shannon to say that. I didn't even roll my eyes. Like, yes, you did, bitch. I look at it. It's literally like the smallest little roll, but like I roll my eyes. And she's like, don't roll your fucking eyes at me, Shannon. That line would be said to me. Like, I would be out in public and people would be like, don't roll your eyes at me, Shannon. Like, it was like an iconic line for some reason. People always said it to me. And yeah, that really picked up some steam. I will say, I did think it was really savage when Kristen said, good, I'm glad you're crying. Like, I was crying and she literally dead ass looked at me, and I'm laughing because it was savage in like a funny way. She dead ass looked at me and said, I'm glad you're crying. Like, where were we working in Hell's Kitchen? Like, what the fuck was this? Like, I'm glad you're fucking crying. And I was like, yeah, I'm sorry, I care. Oh, also, do you want to talk about embarrassment? If you're rewatching this with me, like the PTSD that I had from literally rewatching this whenever I was like, I care. I was literally drunk on tequila and asked John. Like, I woke up at 2 a.m. to make sure that it launched at Central Time. I care. Like, bitch, you're... Ma'am, that's what you're saying. You're saying, like, I care. I was up at 2 a.m. hammered on tequila, still caring. Like, bitch, get a literal fucking grip. Okay. Then we go to something a bit happier. We have Taylor's proposal and Leaper's Fork. This is really funny to me because she did not want to go. Like, she wanted no part of it. She wanted nothing to do with it. She really was so ill. At the time, we did not know that she had HG, which we know she has now, which is a horrible sickness that you get. You don't get it. Like, it's very rare, but it's like something that some women suffer from. Kate Middleton suffers from it. Amy Schumer did a whole documentary about it, but basically, like, horrible thing where you're sick, violently ill for all 9 months of pregnancy, and every time you have another kid, it gets worse and worse. So it's actually debilitating. We didn't know that at the time because it was Taylor's first child, so she just thought she was extremely ill with morning sickness. But now that we know what we know, it's important to note that she wasn't just like ill in the morning. She wasn't just like nauseous during the day. Like, she was violently ill. So I knew that she had this surprise proposal that obviously had to be filmed. So I was like, we have to film today. And she was like, tell them I can't. Tell the producers I can't. And I was like, you have to. And by the way, the scene was we're going to Leaper's Fork to go shopping. So she was like, no, just literally tell them I can't do that scene today. Like, that's such a dumb little scene. Like, tell them we'll have to do it another day. And I was like, no, you have to do it. I'm so sorry. And basically convinced her that she had to do it. Then I get to her house. She's in like sweat. Obviously, what would you do if you felt nauseous? Do you want to get in full glam? No. But I'm like, this bitch is getting proposed to. So I'm like, you have to look better than that. And she was like, no. And she's like, and why are you so dressed up? I was like, you have to like, look, like I had like my grandmother's fur on. She's like, I don't want to. I want to wear sweatpants and just like a cute tank top or something. And I was like, no, please. I remember I had said to her, like, please, like, I haven't been dressed up in my last couple scenes and I really want to be dressed up. And if you wear that, they're going to make me wear what you're wearing. And she was like, well, can't you just wear what I'm wearing? She was like, literally, bless her heart, so not okay. And I was like, no, you have to put on like Spanx leggings and a top and like a fur coat. And she was like, I want to fucking die. And I was like, I'm really sorry, you like have to look pretty. She was like, okay. She still never caught on. I can always tell Taylor's just not a good liar. She just doesn't lie like I do. And she's just like really, I could tell she had no idea that the proposal was coming. She was floored. And so she really was like, why the fuck do I have to get ready? So she gets ready. We have a long drive to Leaper's Fork. We get there and we go shopping. She gets proposed to. It's really sweet. Something that did get cut, which I remember she was really pissed about. They made her, right after she got proposed to, they made a producer go in the car with her and Mike for the hour and a half. Imagine you just got proposed to and then a producer sitting there holding a camera, like asking you dumb questions. She was like, really annoyed. And then we had to go to a dinner afterwards with all the cast members. Now the cast members weren't Taylor's BFFs, but so again, who do you want to spend the day you got engaged with? Cast members being filmed at a restaurant? No. And she had to do that, and then none of it even aired, none of it got shown. And so she was literally like, what the fuck was the point of that? Which, fair enough. Oh, it is cute that I said I have learned by Taylor and Mike that if things don't plan out in your perfect fairy tale timeline like you planned, that's all right. I was like, oh, that's cute. It's kind of like a full circle moment for me and James because obviously like our love story was all over the map and it's just really sweet. I'm like, yeah, everyone's timeline's different. And I say that in this episode, which is sweet. Okay, at the end of this episode, Kristen says Shannon and I have a friendship, but she needs to understand that I'm her boss. That's fair. And I think that like that was basically our demise. And I've kind of said it throughout this entire rewatch series that like me and Kristen's demise as friends and in the workplace were just because I think the gray area of the way she talked to me, the way I talked to her, it just all was like wrong. I will say this, that Kristen and Kelly are like at this rooftop having drinks, and Kristen's like, Shannon's really funny, or Kelly said I was really funny, I don't know. And they were like, yeah, she is really funny. Me, I'm like, I'm so funny. And then Kelly's like, she's really good at captions. And Kristen's like, she's so fucking good at captions. You guys, I must note this. Kristen and Kelly used to text me photos of their personal photos from Instagram that they were going to post, and they would message me and be like, can you caption this? Like, honestly, I'm the goat. I'm the goat of captions. And I used to feel so good when they would message me. I'd be like, oh my God, they're asking me to caption their photos. Oh, okay.
Fall is coming. I'm honestly so excited. I'm currently on my honeymoon, but like fall is going to be at our doorstep when we get back to Nashville, and I'm just so excited because I'm ready for these cozy, amazing meals. But I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I don't want to cook them. I never do. I tell you guys this all the time. I like cooking, I like doing dinners, but lunch for me, I need lunch just to be fast. I need it to be no prep, no mess, and that is where Factor comes in, because Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are dietitian approved, and more importantly, and more important to me, they're ready in just 2 minutes. So like, I am just busy during the day, okay? Busy, and so is James, and I don't have time to cook up and whip up some fantastic wifey material meal. So what I usually do is just use Factor because it's incredible. It tastes delicious. It's ready in 2 minutes. And then I just plate it on a plate from our kitchen. And he honestly is never the wiser. It's just amazing. And nutritious. He loves that about it. It's great tasting and nutritious. So make today the day that you kickstart a new healthy routine. I don't know what you're waiting for. They've got 35 different meals and more than 60 add-ons to choose from every week. You will always have new flavors to explore. You will not get bored with Factor. I promise you. And you can keep your kitchen time to a minimum. So if you honestly are just someone like me that's busy, even if it's not during the day, if it's at night, you got kids, you got damn kids, you just need your food to be ready. 2 minutes, it's like restaurant quality. No shopping, prepping, cooking, or cleaning up. It's just effortless. It's amazing. It supports your lifestyle. You can choose from 6 menu preferences to help you manage calories. You can maximize your protein intake. I love the protein. Protein, baby. We keep the protein up in our household. So if you want to avoid meat too, you can do that, or simply just eat well balanced. You just head to factormeals.com/probably50 and use code probably50 to get 50% off your first box, huge discount, plus 20% off your next month. That is code probably50 at factormeals.com/probably50 to get 50% off your first box, plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active.
Okay, now the sit down. This sit down at the very end of this episode, I'm wearing the most atrocious blazer. I can't even, like, we can't even talk about it. It's like this floral blazer that I'm wearing. It's just the fucking weirdest shit ever, okay? It's so fucking weird. This was filmed so much after we had wrapped for the season. We had wrapped for the season and we were doing little, what are they called? Pickup scenes. Pickup scenes where if they like needed you to redo audio or needed you to redo something, I forget. There was another pickup scene I told you guys about in an episode where like I have to come talk about me and John fighting or something with Kristen, and that was filmed like months and months later, because when they're editing the show together, if they see a missing piece, they have to go in and film it afterwards. So this scene, while it was real, it wasn't like faked or anything, it was interesting to me. This is where I started catching on, something's happening, because they were like, we need to film a scene with you, a pickup scene where you're talking about your future at Uncommon James. And I was like, why? We wrapped like literally forever ago and I'm just doing the same thing as I would. They're like, we need to talk. And then I was like, okay. And they're like, maybe you talk about how you want some more responsibilities. I remember the producers definitely set me up for this, because they were like, maybe you talk about how you want some more responsibilities. You're doing so well, because I was doing well at the time. She's like, maybe you say you want some more responsibilities. But now the way they fed it into what makes sense is it's literally right after I fuck up something, I then come into her office a day later and say, I'd like more responsibility. That actually wasn't how it went. Like, this was filmed 4 months later when I was doing really, really good in my job. And she was like, do you want more responsibility? And I was like, yeah, I think more responsibility sounds good. And then they edited it to make it look like I was a fucking dumb bitch who just fucked everything up and then was like, can I have more on my plate? So I remember that's when I started catching on, like, something's weird here. Okay, but they needed it to feed into the next episode where I get fired. So then at the very end of the episode, Kristen says we have a sisterly relationship. And I think that's why when everything happened, and I admitted this even back then, like, I wasn't afraid to say, like, I was really upset because when I lost my job filming, I lost my job with the store. I also, like, lost a relationship with someone that I really did look up to, like an older sister. Like, I genuinely did within reality TV, within, like, the workplace, like, everything we did, like, just in general, I really, really loved Kristen and, like, had a bond with her. Like, were we BFFs going to get wine together? No, because honestly, like, do big sisters and little sisters do that when there's an age difference? No, like, we didn't, it wasn't to that level, but I really did just feel like really close to her in a relation, like a friendship. And so anyways, that was really hard for me, and I wrote that down because she did say like, oh, we have like a sisterly relationship, and I felt like we did too. Okay, season 2, episode 1. So basically shit was starting to hit the fan, and they called me in for filming. I don't remember what, like things are just like, oh, I was picking up on stuff. She started changing the emails. Like there's a scene too in this episode where she's like, Shannon's changing all the passwords to the emails. Like, no, I wasn't. She was like, I kept getting like notifications that people were trying to log in, and I was like, what? So I like changed my password, and then she was like, this is a work email, you can't change the password. I was like, oh, cool, you can have the password. But now I realized at the time she stopped texting me. She always texted me everything. She started emailing me because I think she wanted a paper trail, and everything was just seeming like something's off here. And I was like really getting the impression like something was about to go down. And I get this call from production being like, hey, because obviously this is a reality show, but like I've told you guys, it's not like Big Brother. They're not following us around with cameras 24/7. So it wasn't a reality show where they had to set up scenes. They had to be like, hey, you're going to show up at this time for filming. It's going to be you and Kristen. They wouldn't tell us what we were going to say. They wouldn't feed us lines, but like that's how this show operated, right? So basically I get a call right when I'm feeling real fishy about everything. I get this call from production being like, hey, we want to set up a scene with you and Kristen. You're going to come in and chat. And I was like, cool, what's it about? And they're like, just come in and talk to Kristen. And I was like, okay. So I got a really bad feeling about it. I was really anxious. I think I was talking to like all my friends about it. And I think maybe Taylor or someone was like, or maybe even John was like, you just need to call Kristen and just ask her. Like, y'all are friends. Like, you've never done this before. Because Kristen, good on her and fair enough, she was a producer of this reality TV show and she gets reality TV and she really liked things to be organic. That's why I really can say, other than this episode, everything was really like real in the moment. Like, yes, the scenes were set up, like situations were set up where we would go to, but she wanted real reactions, real surprises, real like emotions to come out, because that's how you make a good reality TV show. So I remember I had called her knowing this, that she liked that kind of stuff. I had called her and said, look, I'm really sorry to put you in this position as a producer of the reality TV show, but taking a step back from being a producer of the reality TV show and just as my friend, and I said that, I was like, as my friend and as someone that's worked for you for 2 years now, I was like, can you just give me a heads up? I promise I'll still act surprised. I'll scream. I'll cry. I'll do whatever. Because remember, guys, I told you I would do anything to make this reality TV show good. So I really meant it. I was like, if you're going to fire me, I totally understand. But can you just give me a heads up? I was like, which maybe even now that I say that back, that is kind of unfair to put Kristen in that position. Like, why would a boss or a reality TV producer have to tell you something before it happens? Like, but I did ask her for that. I was like, can you just tell me? And if you say you are, like, we can work through it. I'll fucking scream. I'll throw something. I'll be crazy. Whatever makes good TV, like, I'll do it. And she was like, Shannon, I'm not firing you. She said that straight up. I'm not firing you. We need to have a talk. It's going to be, it's not going to be happy-go-lucky. We need to have a talk, but I'm not firing you. And I was like, okay. I was like, all right, I appreciate that. And she was like, yeah, but she was like, it's okay. And then she said to me, she said, look, when you come in, whatever happens, when we film tomorrow, whatever happens, just how about you and I on Tuesday, I remember what day we were filming, on you and I on Wednesday, Thursday, whatever it is, it was 2 days later, you and I, let's go get a coffee and let's talk off camera and just have a conversation. And I was like, okay, I'd really like that. And she was like, okay. So I'm like, yay, I get off the phone. I call my dad. I'm like, blah, 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 blah. My dad, I'll never forget it. My dad to this day goes, baby, she's firing you. And I was like, what? And he goes, she is 100% firing you. So just prepare yourself. Get all your crying out now. Get your upsetness out now. Go in with your head held high. She's firing you. And I was like, seriously? And he was like, 100% yes. And I was like, I don't think so. She would, really? So anyways, I thank God, take my dad's word for it. And then I start thinking, I would have given you whatever you wanted and now it's even coming to me now. I do agree that's kind of a tough position to be in. She didn't have to tell me. But even now, I was like, I told you I would do anything. I told you I would act crazy. I would do whatever. I would throw something for you the same way I did with like me and Brittany's scene where I threw shit and we fought and it made for a great episode. I was like, I cannot believe that. So I was like, you know what? You get nothing from me. You get nothing. I'm not going to go in and cry. I'm not going to scream, and I'm not going to do anything. So I texted her because me and Kristen always texted each other this. Me and all the castmates texted each other this before. I texted the producers and Kristen and said, like, what am I supposed to wear for this scene? Because you kind of needed to know, like, the vibe. What am I supposed to wear for this scene? And Kristen wrote back, I'll never forget it. I'm not wearing anything, like, I'm not dressing up, like, super casual clothes, she said, like, super leisurely or casual. I think she used the word athleisure. Like, I'll probably be in athleisure. And I was like, no, you won't. In my head, I thought, no, you won't. No, you won't. The producers were like, no need to get dressed up. Like essentially told me, like, look your worst. Like, come from the gym. Like this, like, look like I look right now. And I just remember thinking, fuck that. I spent so long on my hair and makeup. I mean, hours. I spent 2 hours on my hair and makeup. I borrowed a pair of designer heels from my friend. Shout out Ashley Austin. Like, I borrowed her heels. I wore like my nicest, sexiest little like work linen dress. And that was like so short. It was like not appropriate for the workplace. And like literally stilettos and like full glam. I get there. And like I said, this episode like really gives me PTSD. It's why I've never seen it. I've watched it one time when it aired all those years ago, which me and Taylor took a trip to Miami when this episode aired because I was like, it's going to be bad and I just want to be out of Nashville and I want to be away. And I remember I was hammered in Miami and like came back from like a day party at some day club, and we like go and Taylor and I watch it, and I literally just I was just bawling, crying because it was so like faked and really upset me.
I have been obsessed with the brand Scotch and Soda for a very long time. Honestly, they're a very, very elevated brand that I feel like doesn't get enough credit, but I'm here to tell you, they get all the credit for me in the world, and they just did a sick collab. I'm pretty sure it's their first collab ever with Joe Jonas. Pretty freaking cool. Endlessly optimistic and inspired by the free spirit of Amsterdam, Scotch and Soda champions individuality, authenticity, and the power of self-expression. And you can see that in their clothes, by the way, because the prints are so cool, so unique. Their collections offer originality while delivering some incomparable quality. Now, the things that I have from Scotch and Soda, genuinely, the quality is incredible. I bought them years and years ago, and they are still so, so good. They are making a statement with their pieces while also still being like these really cool, like just cult classics in your closet, which I love because they're also like giving just really cool, which is makes sense that they collabed with Joe Jonas. Okay, so their very first drop of their collaboration with international pop star, songwriter, actor, and brand ambassador Joe Jonas, we love him. The collection, designed and co-created with Joe, infuses Scotch and Soda's distinct style with Joe's kind of like playful, satirical approach, including bold colors, which they do so well, the prints, the textures, and like I spoke on before, the quality, the high quality of the fabrics and the premium tailoring. You really do just look like you had something custom made for yourself, which I love. And the Scotch and Soda Joe Jonas capsule collection features a mix of men's and unisex clothing. I honestly saw a couple things I wanted to get for James that I know I'll just be stealing out of his closet. They just really encompass Joe's confident approach to style. And it's inspired, very obviously you can see this, inspired by the American West, the 70s, vintage Americana, and Joe's personal photography. There's actually a graphic tee with some like Polaroids on there that is really, really cool. I just feel like it really does create a dynamic wardrobe. And it's a celebration. It's a celebration of creativity, confidence, Jonas's personal style. It's represented all throughout the original artwork, rich fabrics, and the embroidery that inspired by his musings. Okay, so the Scotch and Soda Joe Jonas collection is now available at scotchandsoda.com, EU and US, and select retailers. Just use code PROBABLY for 20% off your first order. That's a huge discount. 20% off your first order. They're incredible pieces. That's www.scotchandsoda.com, and code PROBABLY gets you 20% off.
Basically, it opens the scene with her saying that they blew up like UJ did. It shows all the numbers going crazy. And UJ did blow up after the show, okay? Like, Uncommon James blew the fuck up. It was genius on Kristen's part, this TV show and launching her brand and having a good product. Like, the jewelry was cool. It really was like an overnight sensation. And I need to be clear, I'm not making excuses because I was a bad employee. I deserve to be fired. But I just want a couple things on record. And I've said it before, I ran everything, all the social media platforms. We're talking Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, whatever other social media platform was out at that time, like anything. I also did all the newsletters, every single newsletter. I ran every single photo shoot. We have multiple brands now. We're not just jewelry anymore. Now we're home goods. I'm running the shoots for the home goods. I'm posting the photos for the home goods. She's like, I actually want a separate account for the home goods. For little James, she had this baby company. I want a separate account for this. I need you to run all the accounts. I ran it all. Like, it really was too much. Like, it was too much for someone that was good at their job, and I wasn't even good at my job. Someone who was incredible at their job would have said, this is too much. This is crazy. So she also says, I went from 4 employees to 55. That's true. Guess what? Social media, still just me. Just one person. She hired teams for stuff. She hired all these people, yet social media was still just me. And I just feel like that was kind of crazy. Like, I just really do feel like that was crazy. So here's where the fakeness starts coming in. She says, I'll tell you stuff. All this stuff was recorded after I was fired. Like, every single scene you're watching was recorded after I was fired. That is because there was not enough. I didn't give them enough in my firing scene that they had to create these moments because they were like, this looks a bit like out of nowhere. So, and I remember I was so heated. I texted Brittany, Colby, like I texted some people and we're like, did y'all seriously fake these scenes? And they were like, all of them apologized. They're like, we're really sorry. Like, we didn't know what to do. Like, the producers just said, like, we need to do this. And I was just like, okay, but let's be clear, I would have done the same thing in their position. Like, I had not a leg to stand on. If the producers told me to do it, I would have been like, sure, I'll fake this, whatever. So there's a scene, Kristen's like, where's Shannon? They're having a meeting. And she's like, where's Shannon? This is recorded. This is obviously fake. I had never missed a meeting in my entire life. Like, straight up a meeting. Like, I loved meetings. I loved when there was like things going on. I like didn't like my day-to-day job, but when there were like meetings and things to go to, I loved every bit of it. I actually was always the first one at the meeting because I was in charge of getting like orange juice and donuts and like the little stuff for people to have in the morning. Like, I was always the first ones at the meeting. So when I saw this scene, I remember being like, oh, like, where's Shannon? She's just not at this meeting. I was like, I literally never missed a meeting in my fucking life. Like, what the fuck? Like, that pissed me off so bad. Phone call, she picks up the phone. She's like, I haven't heard from Shannon. I can't get a hold of Shannon. Brittany's like, I've called her 3 times. Colby's like, I can't talk to Shannon. I heard from Shannon. I was like, oh! I was like, I never missed a phone call in my life. There's actually another scene you see. I was so obsessed with Kristen and like impressing her that like if she called, I fucking answered. I had a different ringtone for her. Like, there's another scene in the very beginning that we've already recapped where Kristen calls everyone, no one answers, but I answer. Like, there was never a red missed call from Kristen in the existence and entirety of me knowing her. That was faked. I remember at the time when the episode aired too, I like posted because I was really scared of getting in trouble for like, I don't know, like some contract or some NDA I signed with the network. Like, I don't know, I was just scared. But I remember I posted and said like, this is so crazy. I never got a single one of these faked calls. Like, fuck Verizon. I'm changing to AT&T immediately. I'm switching phone plans. Maybe I never got any of these faked calls. And I remember being like, oh my God, am I going to get in trouble for this? I'm crazy. Okay. And then Kristen leaves a voicemail. This is actually like insane to me. Like, she leaves a fake voicemail that's like, hey Shannon, it's Kristen. Hey Shannon, it's Kristen. They put like this blur over it that says like 2 weeks earlier. Hey Shannon, it's Kristen. I haven't seen you in a couple days. I'm just kind of wondering where you are. Like, imagine I just don't show up to work for 3 days. Like, a job where all my friends work and my boss literally calls and texts me all the time. I'm like, imagine I just like, oh, I just don't show up for 3 days. I haven't seen you in 3 days, like wondering where you're at. Like, what do you, like, this is insane. This is insanely fake and not true. I would never just no-show work for 3 days. Okay, so anyways, that was just so stupid to me. Kristen says she's more concerned about her own social media page than her job. You know, I see that would have been juicy for TV, and I remember it annoyed me so bad at the time, but nothing annoyed me more than after she says that, it goes to never before seen footage. This sent me into you can't even understand like what this did to me. I was so angry. So there's a scene, they show this. The producers remember I told you guys back in the first like rewatch episode, they forced John to write the song. They're like, you need to write a song. And John's like, that's not really how songwriting works. But like, honestly, great job. John wrote a great song. I Can't Take You Anywhere. It did great. They had said in season 1, we filmed this a year prior. They had said like, we need to do a music video. Like, we want to film a music video. It never made the cut. It was like, I never really understood why they wanted him to do that anyways. I think they just wanted to show they needed some filler scenes or something, but they made us film this whole day where our really good friend and an incredible director, Chase Lauer, comes in. He is directing and shooting the music video. It was like the lowest budget because they were basically like, you have to do this on your own. And John was like, I don't have money. I wasn't going to make a music video for this. And they were like, well, now you have to. And you have $200. So I remember we made this like fake photo booth scene out of cardboard. And it was like, I can't take you anywhere. And it was like me like fixing my lipstick and whatever. It was like honestly really dumb. But we were like, whatever, we have to. The producers are making us do this. They used that footage. They then clipped that footage. It didn't make the cut for first season. And I remember being like, thank God, that was so stupid. They used that footage and made it look like I wasn't showing up to work because I was filming a music video for my boyfriend. Like, it really bothered me so bad. And now, obviously, I'm just like, I thought that would really trigger me again. And I rewatched it like, that was stupid. I don't care. But like, at the time, I need you guys to know that sent me into a full spiral because I wasn't used to it. I wasn't used to the show being fake. Like, the show hadn't been fake so far to me. I watched stuff. And yes, I had sounded insane, but that's because I was saying insane stuff because I wanted to make for good TV. This was the first time that I was like, oh, that didn't happen then. You clipped that there. That wasn't that. Like, it made me so angry. I just felt like it was so embarrassing. It made me look so stupid. Another fake scene of me not there, see who's missing. I was already fired. Like Jay comes in or something and Kristen's like, notice who's missing. And he's like, enough is enough. Like, I was literally fired for like months when they filmed that scene. So again, just all crazy. All right, so then the firing scene. She was obviously not dressed in athleisure. She looked incredible. She looked fucking so hot. Okay, perfect. I'm glad that I did not, and I listened to my gut, and I did not wear sweats and athleisure as well. When I walked in, they cut this part out. When I walked in, the genuine shock on her face, like, you have to understand, like, I didn't wear glam to the office. I didn't really glam up for filming. Like, when I walked in, she was like, wow, you look nice. And I was like, thanks. And she was like, what are you all dressed up for? And I was like, for my meeting with you. You look incredible too. I remember I was like right off the bat, I was a condescending bitch. I was like, yeah, you look incredible too. AKA, you're not an athleisure. I was like, you look incredible. And she's like, thanks, have a seat. And I'm like, okay. Also, when I first walked in, Jay was there, and I walked over to producers and I said, I know what's about to happen, and I'm not doing this in front of Jay. And they were like, what are you talking about? What's about to happen? I was like, I know what's about to happen, and I'm not doing it in front of Jay. And they were like, he's not going to be in the room. And I was like, pull him out. And they were like, actually, I really think that they had planned. If a producer is listening to this, they might be like, Shannon never told us what to do and we never listened to her. Like, she wasn't in charge. But I really think they had planned to do that. And I was like, I will not sit down if Jay is here. Like, if Jay is in the background of this shot watching the firing scene, I'm not having it. It's not happening. And they were like, okay. And Jay, they're like, he wasn't. I'm like, okay. They pulled him out. We sit down. Now, I knew I had prepped myself, like my dad said. I was like, they will take any face I make, which they still got one. How did they get one face of me shocked? I don't know. But I was like, I'm going to smile. I'm not going to have any like even just resting face. I'm going to be like this the whole time, which Kristen said, obviously it's cut out. Kristen says at one point, she's like, you're sitting there with a smile on your face. It's so disrespectful. And I remember thinking like, oh, I'm literally sitting here with a smile on my face because I refuse to give them any cuts of me like making a crazy face. Somehow they did still pull one because it looks so fake when you watch it. Kristen's like, I'm going to have to let you go. And it like clips to me being like, what? And then immediately I'm smiling and I go, I couldn't agree more. So like that was really fake. But anyways, let's get into it. So I tried really hard to not interrupt her too, by the way. Like, I remember when she was like, let me talk. I remember I was like, I am. Like, what are you talking about? Like, my mom had told me, like, don't interrupt her, like, let her speak. I think I asked a producer, you can put me on record saying this. I'm pretty sure she shall not be named, but there was a producer that when I spoke to her, I was like, how was editing the firing scene? And she was like, it was brutal. Our editing squad was like, we need more. We have nothing. Like it's just Kristen yelling at Shannon the whole time and Shannon sitting there smiling, like quiet. I remember being like, I did it. Like, I really did not give them that stuff they needed. And I remember thinking, I told you I would give you whatever you want. I will fucking throw a fit. But you didn't give me the heads up, so you get nothing from me. I remember feeling like a small ounce of power in that moment.
All right, I can't stop talking about how James and I obviously are homeowners, mostly because it's like a really big feat, all right? But let me tell you something, if you're still renting, this is a podcast for the renters. I honestly have had a podcast way longer when I was renting properties than when I owned one, so I really understand you guys, and I feel you when you kind of feel like you're stuck in this loop of rent payments, right? You're just watching your money vanish into thin air, and also there's a lot of like really rude, weird pressure around buying a house, and sometimes you're just not ready. Sometimes you have to keep renting, so don't make anyone let you feel guilty for renting a house. But I do understand when you're kind of just like, oh, people are right. Are they? Like, am I just throwing money, quote unquote, down the drain? Well, it's time to turn that rent game around and start earning some serious rewards. That's right. You can earn rewards for just simply paying your rent. And that's where Built Rewards comes in. So real talk, we've all been there, like I said, feeling like we're burning cash, those rent checks. It's just frustrating. But here's the deal. Built Rewards have figured out a way to make renting more rewarding. So you can say goodbye to your money bonfire and hello to a renter's revolution with Built. All right. Because Built is breaking ground as a neighborhood rewards program that hooks you up with points on your rent. Every month you pay your rent and you watch the Built points roll on in. You can use your points to jet off on a dream vacation, put your point towards a flight or hotel stay. I have a friend that's renting right now that uses Built Rewards, and she literally just got the sickest hotel stay with her reward points from Built. And they have 500 plus airlines and 700,000 plus hotels and properties. It's just amazing. You can use your points to book fitness studio classes, redeem them towards a future rent payment. Hello. That is literally your rent paying for itself. They are designed to meet your lifestyle. So pay rent hassle-free through the Built Rewards app. Your rent game just got a major upgrade, baby. So Built points have been consistently ranked the highest value point currency by the points guy. We love Brian. We trust him. I will follow him into darkness whenever. And bank rate. So earn points by paying rent right now when you go to joinbuilt.com/probably. That's joinbilt.com/probably. Make sure to use my URL so they know that I sent you. Joinbuilt.com/probably to start earning points with your rent payments today.
Okay, so anyways, her and Jay practicing, mean, hurtful to watch, but I mean, fair enough, I guess. They have to make good TV. I did let her talk, like I said. I remember my parents being like, let her talk, so they definitely had to like edit that to be like, I'm speaking, whatever. She was very upset that I was not crying and begging for her not to fire me. I know that much. I know that much because the producers told me afterwards, like, Kristen is shocked. Like, Kristen did not expect that to go that way. Kristen is very upset. Like, I truly believe, because that's who I was to my core, and honestly who I still kind of am. Like, I'll always be a people pleaser. I'll always try to do more. And I was so obsessed with Kristen. I was so obsessed with working for her. I was so obsessed with being on the show. I think she really thought that I was going to be like, I'm so sorry, please let me have my job. And she was probably going to be like, this is my theory. This is my working theory. Who knows if it's true? I'm literally just making this up. But like, my working theory is that she was going to fire me. I was going to beg, cry. She was going to say, look, I already hired someone else for social media. You can still work for me, but you're going to work for me in a much lower capacity. You're getting demoted, okay? And then I would be like, okay. And then the next season would be me trying to climb my way back up the ladder, or me clashing with the new social media girl or whatever. Like, they had this whole plan and I did not give it to them. And Kristen did not offer me any other job or any other resolution or anything else, because I literally was like, yeah, I agree. Like, I was condescending and was like, yeah, I agree. We should be fired. She went down a list of things that went wrong. Fair enough. The only thing that I will say that really bothered me was she said, and this is probably where they got their cuts of me being like, wait, hold on. And I wish I would have just kept my fucking mouth shut and just stayed quiet. But because I did give them something here, but she said that I wasn't responding to people's questions on the photos. And you hear me go, when was she was like, these comments are 2, 3, 4 days old. And I'm like, but how old is the photo? Because people were going through and finding a photo 6 months old and commenting like, how much does this cost? And I'm obviously not every day waking up and going through all of our photos in the entire feed from 6 months old. So I remember being like, that's not fair. And you don't understand how social media works to be mad at me for that, but whatever. But now I'm like, you gave them the ammo they needed, whatever. I should have just shut the fuck up and said, okay, I understand. So I will say, when I said this is an unhealthy work environment, I was definitely right about to cry. I was like, this is unhealthy. Like, look at you. I was being so mean and condescending. I'm like, look at you. This is crazy. This is so unhealthy. Like, I knew that just like sent her into orbit, and I was trying to press her buttons, and that was just like, honestly not great on my part, because I will say this, she gets flustered. I think she wanted to say that, and she was firing me. I was kind of basically just saying like, I agree. The face I make when she says that she has to let me go, it was fake, like I already said. I smiled and said like, I agree, but they had to cut me looking shocked, but it looks pretty fake when you watch it. I said this line to her. I said, I really hope, because she had like gone through all the stuff that I do wrong, right? And I looked at her and I said, I really hope that you can find someone to do I list all the things. I said, I'm going to leave you on this, Kristen. I run the Instagram, the Twitter, the Pinterest, all of the photo shoots. You have me bring my own clothes to the photo. I list all the stuff. I'm like, you have me bring my own clothes to the photo shoot. I then get all the photos from the photographer. I was like, I run the launches. I run the newsletters. I was like, just me, just one person. You've hired all these people, yet it is just me who runs this. And she just looked at me and I said, so I really hope, and they kept this part in. I go, I really hope you can find someone who can do all of this stuff for you perfectly. And she looked at me, they cut this, she looked at me and she goes, oh, to this day, I just want to, it made me so mad. She looks at me, which like, who does being a bitch better than Kristen? Like, they really should have kept it in, because it was a knife to my fucking stomach. I thought I got her. I'm like, I do this. I hope you can find someone to do it all perfectly. She literally laughed in my face, like the most condescending laugh ever. And she goes, huh, yeah, I already have. And like basically told me like, she's already hired. Like, I already hired someone new to fill your place. It was literally like the biggest punch in the face to me, slap across the face. Like, I was like, oh, I hate my life. Like, boom, roasted. Like, she got me. And they cut it out probably because Kristen just seemed really mean, but they should have kept it in because it was savage and it was so good. And I will say, to be noted, after that, she hired a huge team. She hired a massive social media team. I think it had like 7 people in it, like top layers, rings of layers of different people. Yeah. So it was just me, and then she fires me and hires a team. It should have been a team all along. I should have been fired all along. I was not good at my job, but like, I should have just been a part of the team maybe. But yeah, just to note, as soon as she fired me, she hired a whole social media team. All right, the next 2 days production. Oh, I should note this. When I literally walked out of the door, one of the producers grabbed me and was like, whoa, we didn't see that coming. We had no idea that was about to happen. And I was like, Steven, shut up. Like, I was literally like, yo, okay. So I walk away. The producer was like, oh my God, I had no idea that was going to happen. That's so crazy. You got fired. We didn't know, and now I had no idea. And I'm like, yeah, you did. But I looked at him and he said to me, I'll never forget this. He says to me, you're fired from like Uncommon James, but you're obviously not fired from the show. Those are 2 separate things, right? And I looked at him, so naive. I looked at him and I go, duh, of course I know that. In my head, I thought, at the time, I was a bit bummed because it was like obviously very tumultuous and I was upset, whatever, about being fired from Uncommon James. But I didn't care, guys, because I was like, I'm literally a superstar. I'm literally a celebrity. I have a TV show. I'm on a TV show. They can't live without me. Like, this is actually great because now I'm making money from the show and now I'm making money from my social media. Now I don't have to do Uncommon James. I wanted to be fired all along or quit all along. This is fantastic. Now I get to just be this reality TV star. Wah, wah, wah. No. So I guess because Kristen was pretty furious about how that went. She knew the ball was in her court and she held all the chips and all those sayings that you say. She was fucking in charge. She then decides Shannon's no longer on the TV show. That to me was so much more upsetting than being fired from the job at Uncommon James from social media. Like, and they never told me. I just started noticing that other people were filming. Like, I never got called back for filming. I would see, and remember, I was filming like 20 times more than most people because I was such a big part of the show in season 1. So then, like, my friends were like getting called in for filming, and I'd be like, oh, do I need to be there? And they'd be like, I don't know. I don't see you on the call sheet. And I'm like, oh, okay. I would message producers like, let me know when you need me to film. And they'd be like, yeah, we'll keep you posted. Season 2 starts, like, I'm just not being filmed. I'm like, what the fuck? Finally, I just called them and I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Can't stop, won't stop talking about Roback, because talking about something being comfortable and really, really, really freaking cute would be an understatement, because if you like being comfortable while still looking cute, which is honestly the goal in general when you're out and about during the day, then Roback is for you. So let me tell you about their active dress. This is like my new literal favorite thing to wear. I wear it to go get coffee. Like, honestly, I'm hardly ever actually active in it, but if I decided to pick up a little pickleball game or something after grabbing my coffee and running my errands at Target, then I could do that, okay? And this new dress that they have is just amazing. It really is. It's made with their signature GTG technology. It means gotta go, which allows you to keep your dress on when you are on the go and got to go, okay? And it's actually genius, but it's also, like I said, so comfortable and cute. I had no idea this could even exist, okay? So recently, anytime I've gone for a walk after a long day, with James, we like to walk because both of us have like very busy schedules during the day. So when the sun is setting and the weather's really good in fall right now, we like to take a walk, and we're wearing Roback, okay? So between their sunrise shorts, their Steffi skirt, and dress, like I said, you are set for your walks. And finally, Roback Swift crew necks and Tempo hoodies. I'm obsessed with how soft they are. Like, the Tempo hoodie, I really just like want to sleep in it. It is unbelievably soft. I don't know what they did, but I just cannot take them off, okay? They pair really well with the shorts, the skirts, and even the dress for a comfortable yet cute look. I love to, like I said, pair the hoodie over the dress. It's just really adorable. So feel free to check out Roback if you haven't already. It is now time to try out some Roback. Use code PROBABLY on roback.com for a generous 20% off your first order through the end of this week. That is spelled RHOBACK.com. That's 20% off all shorts, dresses, hoodies, and more with code PROBABLY. We are always comfortable with Roback.
And they straight up tell me, they're like, so Kristen has decided that you'll no longer be filming the show either, that you're like fired from the show. She doesn't want to film with you. They don't want you filmed. And I was like, devastation has not rocked my world like that. Like, I cannot even express to you what that did to me. Like, I was like, she just took everything from me. Like, she fired me from the show. She fired me from the job. How am I going to make money now? Like, thank God, honestly, that was probably the kick in the ass that I needed to like really start trying to get my Instagram going, because then I was like, I literally have to make money. So I got an agent. I started trying to do stuff, but like, I just thought I was really good at that TV show. Like, I was good at it, you know? I made good TV. Like, I know people will say this to me, and obviously I'm sure they only just say this to me. They don't say it to anyone else, and it's just a biased opinion. But like, everyone did say to me, like, the show wasn't as good after you left. And in my head, I was like, I know, right? Like, I was so good. Like, I was willing. Thank God they honestly did kick me off the show, because who knows what I would have done. I would have probably done even crazier, outlandish shit, because I would have done anything to make the TV show good. So I just need to put on record that when she fired me from the show, I was just like distraught and destroyed. Now, fast forward, they did, I think after filming season 2, realize, ooh, that little drama shit stirrer Shannon, we really need her back. About 4 months into filming, they asked me to come back. I said no, because I was pissed, because I was like, oh, you don't get to use me to save your finale. Oh, I knew they'd already filmed the whole season 2. My friends were the cast members. They were like, we just wrapped season 2. And they were doing pickup scenes, and they were like, we need Shannon. They needed some like dramatic scene with me. And I was like, no. You don't get to film an entire season without me, and then at the end realize that you are on the editing room cutting floor and you don't have your shit and you need me to come in to save the day. No. I will go on record and say the head of E, all the producers called me individually. I said, no. The head of E called me and said, what will it take? What can we pay you? What can we do? I remember I jokingly said like $1 more than whatever Kristen's making per episode. The head of E did not think that was funny. She was like, we really need you back. Like, maybe you and Kristen can have a sit down conversation. And I told her, I said straight up, you guys did not have me this entire season. You kicked me off the show when it's all I had. I'm not coming back. And I'm really proud of myself for that moment, because one, that 24-year-old Shannon needed money. She needed money, okay? 2, they really tried to play their hand at social media. Like, they knew what they were doing. They were like, your social media is really picking up traction. This would be great. More episodes, more views, more followers. And I was like, no. And I stood my ground. Really, the only reason I was able to was because Taylor was like, do not back down. Do not go back. And I was like, you're so right. And I'm so glad I did because, yeah, I just feel like I got to leave with my head held high, even though it was like a horrible episode to leave on. I never went back, and I got to just say that was on my own terms, and I really like that I did that. So anyways, the show had about one more season, and then it quit, obviously for probably personal reasons with Kristen and whatever else. So the show also did take a giant shift from the castmates to starting to just follow around Kristen and her family and her friends. So I'm really glad that I got kicked off the show, because I would have been like really mad. I would have been like, wait, film us. So anyways, I do need to note that the heel getting caught in the board was kind of iconic. And then again, a lot of angst towards Kristen in this episode of this rewatch. I don't mean to say this about her, but I will say she says this line. She says at the very end of this episode, she goes, "Good luck, Shannon. Good fucking luck. You make your own bed in this world, and I'm pretty damn sure that you're going to have the same issues at your next job that you have with me, so good luck." Now, Kristen and I have no beef. We're honestly on great terms, like I said. But I gotta say, that's a pretty iconic moment. Watching back, sitting here, I'm looking at that like, 1, I've never had another boss since Kristen. That was my very last boss. I am my own boss and have been ever since. 2, the good luck wishes worked. Like, I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the good luck wishes. I am doing fantastic. Fantastic. So when I watched that, I remember at the time when I watched that in Miami, bawling my eyes out in bed, I was like, how could you say that about me? And now when you watch it, I'm like, huh, that's funny. I'm doing just fine. So if you're listening to this right now and you're having a really fucking down and out moment, shit stirring moment where you feel like your world is falling apart, if you're in Miami crying in a hotel bedroom, hammered drunk from a like foam party, and you're like, my life sucks, just know things pick up. Things turn around. They really do. So yeah, anyways, that was the end. Good fucking luck, Shannon. Good fucking luck on your honeymoon, Shannon, because I'm going to go back to my honeymoon now. I love you so much. Thank you for being a part of this very exciting, very Cavallari rewatch series. I hope it was as fun as it was not for me. It was pretty traumatic for me, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I love you guys so much. Thanks for staying tuned. We are off to our season break, and on the season break, we have only just a little bit of time apart, and then I come back and I'm gonna do a full wedding and honeymoon recap. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna go to LA soon, New York soon, have a lot of fun guests on this new season. I don't even know if it's called a new season. I'm just coming back after break. Anyways, I love you guys. I'm not even wearing my wedding rings right now. We just got back from the gym. Say a prayer that my nail heals, because it's like really fucked up. All right, love y'all. Bye.